All right, so I am here with Shannon Strydom, sitting in the Colin Nathan's office here. Shan obviously got two good fighters coming up, and obviously Katlego Kanyisa as well on the bill coming up on May the 5th. How are you doing, firstly?
I'm very well, thanks, Hayden. I hope you're doing good. Nice to catch up again. It's been a while since we last caught up. I think first one for the year. But yeah, everything good my side. Can't complain.
100%. And obviously, we mentioned we did an interview just a couple of weeks ago. We ended up canning it because we were not ready for the release of the Boxing 5 tournament. But we're here today to talk also about your upcoming fighters and who you're going to be featuring. What has happened in that time as well, just outside of Boxing 5. Chris Thompson's fight got postponed. Obviously, that was unfortunate news. Apparently, John Rue was ill, sick, couldn't come up. Could you just give us an update on if that's right, and an update on that fight if it's going to happen in the future?
So hopefully it does. I mean, I'm not holding my breath. We were scheduled to fight in March. Trained, started our camp in January, March, got moved to April anyway, carried on with the camp. 2 days before the fight last week, John Rue fell ill, and obviously the fight got cancelled. So it's moved to June or July. We don't have a contract yet, but as the word goes, that's apparently the new date. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's disappointing because, I mean, we have been in camp for the last 4 months already. So we'll just get back into camp. But yeah, it's not an ideal situation. We are obviously fighting in June, July. So that means we're only starting our year in June, July. But yeah, hopefully the fight can carry on and happen for June, July. Chris is in great shape, probably the best shape he's ever been in. I was predicting a stoppage win over John Rue. It's a fight that we've been really calling for. We've been really calling for it the last 2 years. So yeah, like I say, I'm not holding my breath, but hopefully it does come to fruition in the next couple months, and yeah, the boys can actually lace it up.
All right, I actually stumbled upon some sparring footage as well of Chris and Jean on Guerrilla Sports. That's on YouTube, and it was about 4 rounds, I think, of sparring the guys put in. Do you take anything out of that sparring session into like a professional boxing ring?
Not really, to be honest. It was a long time ago. Chris obviously improved a lot. John Rue obviously improved a lot. But yeah, Chris was putting it on him 2 years ago, and to be honest with you, I'm sure a lot has changed in his career, but I don't think that would have changed where he would have still been on the receiving end. So like I say, hopefully June, July can come sooner rather than later, and yeah, they can get to go at it, and then we can just prove that we are the better fighter, and we can put that chapter to bed because it's been ongoing for like the last 2 years. So it's something I want to just put it to bed and move on. But yeah, predict a stoppage win over John Rue still now for whenever it's going to be. So hopefully that can happen.
All right, and let's move over to the same night. In fact, let's move over to Sean Potgieter's fight. Obviously, he's trained by your father, Gert. Sean managed to do what a lot of people didn't think he could do, which was, revenge a first-round knockout. And I mean, that in itself is a massive step because, he took Keaton to deep waters. He was able to effectively drown him towards the end of the fight and get a stoppage win. How much of that would you have been privy to, Sean, in the training? Because he did get a few rounds in with Chris Thompson, as he mentioned in his post-fight interview.
So yeah, they did probably like 4 sessions together towards the end of the camp. Sean looked good. Like I said, he really improved as a fighter, as what I've seen in the sparring. To be honest with you, like I didn't think he was gonna beat Keaton. I definitely thought that he'd do better, but I didn't think he'd beat him. Obviously, I mean, he was knocked out in the first fight. I think it was 2 minutes in the first round. He got stopped. So you ask anyone, what do you think is going to happen? They'd tell you, no, he's probably going to lose again. Like, I didn't see that coming, to be honest. He pulled it out of the bag. They weathered the storm for the first 4 or 5 rounds, which was obviously, everyone knows Keaton's a big banger, comes out hard. Yeah, they weathered the storm. They took him into the deep waters and then drowned him. So yeah, really happy for Sean. He's a great guy. There's no one that deserves it more than him. So yeah, congratulations to Sean and my dad.
All right, so yeah, obviously that's heavyweight boxing pretty much wrapped up in a nutshell in South African context. I know there's always like Josh Pretorius who's on the outside. He's also fighting in Cape Town coming up, so that could always be a fight. But I think Chris and him that water is it's firmly under the bridge. I mean, they fought previously twice, I think, already. So it's it's not a fight. But I mean, Josh could always put his hand up to fight Sean Potgieter maybe one day for the SA should he win. But let's take the focus away from the heavyweight division. Let's go to the welterweight division. Almighty Creed Moyo, he's got an assignment against Simpiwe Ntombela. Obviously, Ntombela has been in a boxing fight ring before. He's fought Aaron Mutseba. What's your thoughts on that fight?
So yeah, it's a good fight. Ntombela obviously experienced fighter. I think he's had like 16 or 17 fights, whereas Creed only had 5 fights. So yeah, it was a good fight. Obviously, I want to match Creed against Mutseba eventually down the line. He obviously fought him. I predict we're going to beat him. I predict we're going to stop him as well. Hopefully, we do it inside 4. Yeah. I know he stopped him in the 4th or 5th. But yeah, I think it's a good fight for Creed. We're obviously still building him. He's obviously still a youngster, so he's showing good signs in the gym, and he's really looking sharp for this fight. So yeah, come 5th of May, I predict not just a win, but a stoppage win for Creed Moyo.
Yeah, I think it's 5-0 at this point, if I'm not mistaken. For
5-0, 4 KOs.
4 KOs, but also the KOs of all. Well, not all, but the majority came at welterweight. It's 100% knockout ratio, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Obviously, I think his last fight was last year, 2 years, I'm not even sure. Yeah, last year March, as a junior welter against Clement Pelusa. Just couldn't put the guy away. I mean, you don't want to put every fighter. I'm not saying put every fighter away, but he just lacked the firepower at junior welterweight. We decided to move him up, and he's had a great run so far. He's stopped both of his opponents at welterweight. This will be the 3rd outing, finding a come forward fighter. Shorter guy than most of his previous opponents, so it's a bit of a change in plan. But we got our work cut out for us, and yeah, like I said, we're predicting a stoppage win come 5th of May.
Right, and well, Creed Moyo is obviously a very popular figure, and he's got his own thing going on with his boxing gym, set up there that he's got going. Let's move over to Frank the Tank. He's obviously got a massive step up in opponents. Tsabang Ramachole. He's supposed to fight DJ Krill. It's a fight that got put to you sort of a month ago, I believe, and you immediately accepted the fight against Tabang. It sort of catapults you in the ratings, and there's a new SA champion in town. I mean, what do you think of the fights? And obviously, looking forward to bigger things as well.
So I think it's a great fight. Like I didn't hesitate when they offered me the fight. Obviously, we were meant to fight him with DJ. DJ was going to beat him as well. Tabang is a good fighter, obviously experienced. I think he's got 25 fights as a professional. He's got more knockouts than what Frank's got fights. But Frank's playing hot at the moment. We've been undefeated in our last 5 outings, coming off a nice stoppage victory over Anele Kunene. A lot of people saying, it's too soon, but I don't think so. I think it's the right time, the perfect timing. I think he's towards the back end of his career. He's obviously going to be there. Obviously has the edge on experience, but I definitely predict a win for Frank. We're going to beat Tabang Ramachole. Whether it goes points, might even stop him. Like I said in the previous interview, don't be surprised if you guys see more stoppages coming from Frank Sotomela. He's got great sparring in sparring Sive, obviously 2-time IBF world champ. We're going to bring in Niviwe this week for some southpaw sparring because I know Tabang likes to switch. I know what they're going to try and do. But like I say, got our work cut out fast, and 5th of May, he's in the best shape of his life. So come 5th of May, we're gonna definitely escalate go up in the ratings. And there's a new champ, Nkosi Sipile Sibisi from KZN. We get past the bang in 2 weeks' time. I'm gonna put a challenge in for the SA title. And that's a belt that I see. I've been saying we're gonna fight for that belt. So it's a belt that I see us winning. And hopefully it can come sooner rather than later, towards the end of the year. Hopefully, if not end of the year, early next year.
It kind of takes away from that banter that we first saw with obviously Jackson Chauke. He's rightfully become the IBO champion in the flyweight division. He looks like he's going to go fight Ricardo Malajika next in sort of a IBO versus IBO clash. The fact that it's Sibisi now, he's a 7-0 young boxer. Is that more, where Frank is in his career right now? We know that Jackson obviously would have been a massive step up as well. But in saying it is boxing, anything can happen. Are you happier with the fights against Sibisi, or would you be just as happy against the fight against Chauke?
Doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's nothing personal. We don't want to fight anyone in particular. It's at the end of the day, Frank's not getting younger, and I wanted him to fight for the SA title, regardless of who the champion was, because that's the direction we're going into. He's going up in the he's moving up in the rankings quite quickly. So that's obviously the direction I want to steer him in. And regardless of who the champ is, I mean, if it was Jackson, which congratulations by the way, Jackie. I've known him for many years, and I'm really happy for him and Damien. And yeah, Sabisi's the champ. Hopefully he can get that over the line soon. Got to get past the 5th of May. And once we do, which we will, we'll put in a challenge for that belt.
All right. So it's an interesting part. There are obviously other fighters that you work with in Hotbox Gym as well. That's also be featuring, as I mentioned earlier in the interview, Katlego Kanyisa. He's changing in weight divisions as well, so it's an interesting take. How has the work been with him so far, considering that he's going to obviously be changing divisions?
I think it's a great move for him moving down to junior lightweight. He did well as a lightweight. I think he's 6-0 or 5-6-0. He was rated number 1 in the country as a lightweight, but he was walking around on the weight like he was walking 2 kilos over like a week before. So he's definitely made the right move in moving down. I think you're gonna see Kat stop guys a lot more in the junior lightweight division, and I see him becoming the SA champion before the end of the year. So hopefully. Yeah, he's also out on the 5th of May, fighting Romeo Makwakwa, tough opponent from Malawi. I predict he beats him. And then hopefully when he takes care of him, we can put a challenge in for that SA title. And yeah, hopefully this year we can have 3-4 guys challenging for the national belt.
It's an interesting conversation because under the previous regime of Boxing South Africa, I don't think anyone in the Hotbox Gym was that interested in fighting for the SA title. Sort of opened up again. Mandla's doing a fantastic job of sort of reviving the image of Boxing South Africa. Is that why you've changed and said, okay, now it's a viable solution because of that? Or, is it the fact that you always just wanted the SA belt?
Well, obviously becoming the national champ and the champion of a country is quite an achievement. If you go back in history, like great fighters, former world champions had that belt. So, obviously I like the SA title. Obviously won it with Chris before, and that's a belt that I would want to win with Frank and a couple of the other guys. But yeah, obviously the previous board was a mess. So we've got a new board. Mandla has been doing a great job, and yeah, that belt special for me. It's a special belt, so I want Frank to win that belt, Kat, and some of the other youngsters here. So hopefully, yeah, we can. I think it's been a while since we've been since we've engaged in a SA title fight, but hopefully we see many more of them in the next couple months to come.
I remember there was a time last year we were talking about your potential license being different. At some point you were sort of teasing with the idea that you might come back and actually get in the ring. Where are you with that? Because are you going to concentrate full time on the coaching now? Are you still toying with the idea of maybe getting in there and having a few?
So I finally put that to bed, to be honest. I've got my hands full with these guys. Obviously, it's a lot of work going into that. But yeah, fighting, I mean, will always be part of me, whether it's coaching, whether it's being in the ring. Like always, I feel like this is enough for me. I don't need more than this right now. So yeah, I've put that to bed, to be honest. But who knows, maybe 2-3 years from now I'll be like a journeyman coming out of retirement, like to get a couple more. But yeah, no, it's definitely something of the past, and I'm actually enjoy this way more, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, look, from a point of view, I mean, if you want to build a stable, I think it's just best to focus on one thing as well. And I think you got a young guy in Creed who's obviously going to need a lot of nursing, and you're telling me just off camera that there are a couple of other guys you got your eye on for the future. Maybe haven't turned pro yet, but that's something that is in the works for you. Yeah, Shan. So I mean, look, we got some big tournaments coming up, and obviously this year's calendar will gradually stack up. It's unfortunate that Chris's fight never went ahead for you personally. I know that you wanted to kind of get that out the way and then look to see what's next. But that he gets another opportunity in July. It's been advertised on social media. So, I mean, should all that go ahead, you might have multiple fights happening in July. It might be a busy time of year, that middle year period.
Yeah, hopefully all these fights can come to fruition. Obviously, big shout out to Boxing 5 promotion. They've been paving the way for us, trainers, managers, and fighters. You know, they've been giving them a great platform to future on. So thank you for them. 5th of May, everyone should get their tickets for the 5th of May. They are selling fast. It's going to be a humdinger of a night. So hopefully everyone comes and supports. But yeah, hopefully the next couple months are quite busy. I know there's a lot of international stuff happening as well. Larato, Header, Sive, which obviously we'll discuss closer to the time. But yeah, there's a lot happening. Obviously, main focus, 5th of May, Chris, June. Yeah, that's three wins in a row coming up.
All right, fantastic. Shane, I'm going to let you go now. I know that we have quite Frank in the background somewhere there. He's very busy working out there. Yeah, but anyway, thanks for coming on to SA Boxing Talk, and we'll catch up again soon. Do you want to thank anyone just lastly?
Thank you, Hayes, for coming out always, and yeah, bro, putting in the effort never goes unseen. So yeah, thank you to you. Boxing 5 promotion, no doubt management. One thing that I did forget to mention was I actually took a youngster to get his license in February. Well, he's not a youngster actually anymore, but he's an exciting kid to keep our eyes open for. Yeah, and I'll release more details as the months go. So yeah, he'll probably feature towards the end of the year. But yeah, really excited about that. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Come and support 5th of May, Boxing 5. We'll see you there.